I can't be the only person that sees how interesting it is that Alex Jones's brand is InfoWars, informational warfare, something that, the media has been doing forever. I mean, the mainstream feared, well, didn't really begin to fear the internet until just very recently. And as I've gone over before, that's a big part of the reason why they went after the man. I mean, he does better numbers. He'll do better numbers than I'll ever do. Oh, trust me, they've locked that down. Won't they lock they done worked that on out like already. Trust me, if you hear about it now, they did it like a year ago. You see what I'm saying? You just now hear about it, and that's a big part of that whole informational warfare, of which this video was titled on. They've controlled us forever. I mean, look at all the maneuvering that our government's been able to do over the past, since 9/11 in particular, but definitely over the past 30 or 40 years. Internet came along, no one really knew how to figure that out for the past 20 or 30, and it's been very recently that, they got a monetization system and all this other stuff. And now you see it. Like, I mean, if you're like, how do I put it? Like, if you're 10 or something like that, you're not going to recognize it because that's not the world you grew up in. You don't know what a rotary phone is. Rotary phone is. You don't you don't know a world without the internet, and that's really like the case. Like, if you're like what, like in your 20s now, really don't know the world like without it. If you're like, saying like early 20s be and below, you really don't know the world without the internet. Whereas, my generation, we got ours basically in the 90s, when there was just this boom and computers were everywhere, and saying the technology became a lot more cheaper and affordable. But it still wasn't what it's become, what it is today, with the monopolies and everything else. The internet used to be the Wild West, trust me. So, witnessing this and watching how those who have the power, who have been disseminating the information for all this time, how they've gone to manipulate and push whatever idea or message or image in particular that they want. I mean, of course they had to go after somebody who they label a conspiracy theorist. Me, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, his stuff should be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing about that, and this is human nature. The more you knock something down, the higher it rises. I mean, think about it. Like, then they spend all that time trying to go after Trump, and he ends up winning the election. And if polls are any indicator, he's winning over people simply by the optics of what he does. I mean, it just kind of it irritates me how easily it is to see now that the media is trying to manipulate us. Here in Jersey, we had this thing called Turban Man, where shock jocks was like, oh, they called the attorney general, who happens to be Sikh, Turban Man. Now, deal is, we just got done with Chris Christie. Chris Christie was a complete asshole. So to have a super sensitive administration now that's just like, oh my goodness, my feelings are hurt. Like, it just like, come on, we're Jersey. We're a bit tougher than that, right? I mean, shit. We want to do it. We are the toughest state. We want to sit here and act all like, come on, man. That's very obvious. Like, the media's hand has been played. That card's been dealt. CNN probably highest amongst them. You know what I'm saying? The one that everyone for the longest time, because yeah, you had your MSNBC, which was just completely left. You had your Fox News, which was completely right. Now, and CNN was always okay. Yeah, they're balanced. No, like, yeah, like everybody, like, the deal is that President Trump kind of revealed everybody's true colors, and to see it play out and to see the same people who sold us all these lies, sold us all this BS, man, sold us these false narratives and just complete hogwash, now turn around and attack those who were able to rise while everyone could really see them faltering. It's just it's amazing. It's completely anti-American, and I don't know, man. It's informational warfare. Man named his company 100% properly. Informational warfare. Now I kind of want to watch that guy. Like that whole frog thing. He was talking about a study that they did in Florida College where they were putting like fluoride or something like that in the water to like see if the I guess the frog would have homosexual tendencies. It was a legitimate like study that he was citing. He was just wilding out about it, and he couldn't. It comes off the media can paint you any kind of way they want, and that's the thing about the media. They want that ability to paint the picture however they want that picture to be painted out. I mean, they flex that ability during the Iraq War. Like, if you was like that's the thing. After 9/11, a lot of shit changed. It's 2018 now. So we're talking about like 17 years ago. Where if you're like, you came up and you're like 17 years old now, you don't remember you don't know what it was like even before 9/11, and that's amazing in a lot of ways because you've been raised to just be like, you know I don't know. I don't know how you were raised. I'm just saying that it's like they want to do is lie to you. That's all they've been doing, all of them. Alex Jones included, like every single one. It's just about lying to us and selling us whatever idea. Everybody sits there and is like, oh yeah, you should go out and vote. You should go out and vote for the person I want you to vote for. If you ain't going to vote for the person I want you to go vote for, go fuck yourself. I hate that. I hate that so much. It's so fake. It's so phony, man. I hate that. It's ridiculous. The way we sit there and treat people, the way we treat people who don't agree with us. Like they're evil. Like they're the problem. Like that's the thing about Trump. When they sit there and cry about Trump, oh, he's so racist. Like what has he done that's been racist? Okay, you want to talk about Central Park 5? We got a conversation. We got that conversation all day. We could have had that conversation before he was elected. We could have had the conversation during the primaries. But that's not the conversation that you wanted to have then. Like or like I mean, really, that's or really him the things he said about some of the immigrants that have been coming in. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that the laws that were changed in the 60s, like immigration was a part of that too. Like when my goodness. See, I got a whole another channel where I go into a whole lot of not conspiracies, just thoughts and adding things together. And one of the things that I've added together is that, since the signing of the Civil Rights Act, it's been on and popping to dilute the descendants of American slavery. And one of the ways that they did that is via the no man in the house rule and making sure that like, the father's role was diminished because your father is your link to who you are as a human being. Be legit. And that's the thing. They knew if they severed that cord for a few generations, we'd all be sitting there looking at Cardi B and the kids would like Takashi 6ix9ine and I don't know, man. I don't know.